Hi, it's Laura at Reading 18 Tarot and Books. Thanks for stopping by my channel today. Welcome or welcome back. This is my December 2023 recap, which means that I have stuck with monthly recaps for the entire year of 2023. I'm quite proud of myself for that. I'm happy that I have. So in this one, I want to chat about general life update kind of stuff, as I usually do to start. I have a couple of decks that I've received this month. And both are actually decks that I purchased this month and received this month. I'll talk about the books that I've read, and I'll check in with my to explore / wish list of decks and where that is at, and then mention plans about monthly recaps for 2024 at the end. So I feel like December is a tough month for me a lot of the time. A lot of years, December is a tough one. There are some anniversaries of some losses of friends that fall in December. And so it is a month that is frequently pervaded by grief, I would say. And this one has been no exception, perhaps more intense, for both kind of individual individual losses and kind of collective types of grief as well. And so it's a rough one. It's always a rough one. And December is also challenging, as a month where work gets really busy for all sorts of reasons, related to dynamics that bring people into my workplace seeking assistance. So it's a busy time at work. I find it to be a time when I'm really inclined to want to hibernate. It's like everybody else is doing it, right? I'm inclined to want to hibernate and really slow down and like listen to the environment and what the environment is doing in terms of slowing down. But I feel like December is such a high pressure month with kind of holiday expectations and time commitments that it's a month where I really feel the kind of societal pressures to live at a pace otherwise than what I would naturally incline to want to live at. And I really felt that this month. I've been kind of aspiring to make time for rest, and I do get some time off work, which is great. I'm filming this on December 29th, and I've been off work since winter solstice, and I'm off until January 2nd, so I've had this nice time to myself, which has been great. But it also has been a really overwhelming month, the beginning to middle of the month especially. I ended up having to take a mental health day from work because it just kind of hit me having so much work and time commitments after work, every day of the week for 2.5 weeks straight. And some of that was kind of second job stuff, and some of it was medical appointments and dentist and this and that, and it just I just kind of hit a wall. I had some minor cold symptoms, and my mind and my body were just like, fuck no. Take the day. And I'm lucky to have a job where I can take the day when things like that happen. And I did, and it was necessary, and that kind of put me on a better course for the month. I got to visit some friends in the town that I grew up in, which was great. We had a great solstice fire together, a big solstice fire. And I learned that some of my, high school kind of time friends were going to a concert right around my birthday in March. So now we're going to all get to go together because I got tickets too. So that was a really nice visit. And I got to visit with my family, with my parents, with my siblings, and my grandmother, which was really nice, just for 2 nights out of town to see them. And now, we've been back and just having a quiet time doing things around the house. The past couple days I've been really looking at things like astrological forecasts for 2024. I watched the big 4-hour forecast by the Astrology Podcast with Chris Brennan and Austin Kopuk, and I enjoyed that. I have some others that I want to watch. I've been kind of batch filming for YouTube a little bit, so I filmed a couple of tags and some things that will be coming out in January, so it's been nice to kind of have time to do that. You know, wrapping up the year and visioning forward into 2024. I like to take dedicated time to do that, and so that's what I've been doing the last couple of days, which has been really nice. Now, that's my month. I hope that everyone is having an okay December. December is a tough one, I think, for a lot of us. So, decks that I've received this month. I got 2 decks this month, and both of them are decks that have been on my wish list for a long time, and that I had, not been able to get or not gotten until now for different reasons, that I didn't get them before. But the first one that arrived, and they're both recent, so they're both still in order actually. The first one that arrived is Tarot for the Great Outdoors. So I've been talking about this deck, and it's by Joe Gordon and Charisse Stieber. It's mass market, published by Skipstone. I've been talking about this deck, in my wish list for quite some time, and holding back because of the cardstock. And I finally decided, you know what, like, this has been on your wish list for ages. Just go for it. You're going to. So that's what I did. These are the backs. They're so pretty. This deck is really like a kind of color palette that I really like. And the majors have American national parks in them. I've only been to one of the parks that is featured in this deck, and that's Niagara, which, on the Ontario side, there's Niagara as well. So I'm looking forward to kind of exploring this. I love, love, love how diverse this deck is, and specifically a really diverse deck featuring all these different kind of outdoor activities that I love, or some activities that I love, some activities that I've never participated in as well, but there's lots of animals in this deck too. And this is a deck that the art just makes me so happy. And again, having a deck that is so diverse on this theme, I think is fabulous. There's so many kind of exclusions in kind of outdoor spaces and outdoor activity spaces that, are really challenging to, work on dismantling and confronting. And I think that this deck makes me very happy. The cardstock is everything that I was afraid it would be. I don't like it. I'm scared. I bend it to shuffle and it like stays that way. I don't know. This might be a contact paper situation. I've never done a contact paper back before, and I'm scared because I'm not good at deck mods. But I want to like waterproof it, so that I can take this with me camping. I think that this would be a great deck to take camping, but I'm just scared to death that I'm going to wreck it. But I love the colors. I love the art. I love it in person. I'm very happy with that. I think I'll probably do a deep dive with this deck, or certainly a video dedicated to it in some way or another. I think that it's a really interesting one that warrants that attention. So I'm happy to have that in my collection. The other one has been on my wish list forever, since I learned that this was going to exist. And I've just been waiting for it to release. So I haven't been able to get it because it wasn't out. But now I have it. And that's the Mirror Oracle by Amrit Brar. Amrit Brar is the creator of the Marigold Tarot. Beautiful black and gold skeleton-based deck. I have a gold gilded one. And I love it. I got my Marigold Tarot from Amrit Brar at a craft show in Toronto years ago now. And this is a kind of companion oracle that could be used on its own or with Marigold. So this one, the back describes it as a 50-card oracle deck and guidebook exploring reflections, visions, growth, and decay, designed by Amrit Brar. And this is a much bigger box than what the Marigold Tarot comes in. The cards are tarot sized. Maybe I'll do a video about this one too. So it has a nice, very mirrored guidebook. It's a black and white deck. very much in, Amrit Bar's style. And the guidebook, I haven't read the guidebook yet. I was going to do an unboxing of this and then I got too excited and unboxed it without you all. So that was going to be a thing. Now it's not a thing. Maybe this will be a deck that I could do a walkthrough, like a more detailed kind of review once I've read the guidebook and that. But I really like the Marigold Tarot guidebook, so I expect, good things. The guidebook has nice entry for each card, noting the symbolism, associations, number associations, all kinds of things. There's a table of contents that is mostly entries for each of the cards, but at the end you also get attention to the border. So like the cards have a border, which you'll see, a note about mirrors, moths, eyes. There's a lot of eyes in this deck. People know I don't like eyes, but there it is. And then reading the oracle. The back, oh, this is so good. The back says, mirrors are portals, not all mirrors are friends. And then there's just a bit about Amrit Bar. Amrit Bar is a Sikh Punjabi Canadian artist and designer whose work primarily explores themes of growth and decay. The Mirror Oracle was created in direct response to her previous work, the Marigold Tarot, a 78-card tarot deck rooted in life, death, and gold. And then it talks a little bit about 13th press, which is Amrit's press. So this deck, the Mirror Oracle, I've been waiting for this, and I want to show you some of the cards. I'll make a video about this deck at some point, but 50 cards. It has this kind of almost rainbow silver holographic that's probably not going to come up very well on camera, but is beautiful in person with a real kind of nice rainbow shine to it. The backs are mirrored suitably enough, really cool. And then the deck is black and white. And, if you're familiar with the Marigold Tarot, very much in the same style. So there are cards here. You can see for each zodiac has a card. And then there are a bunch of other oracle cards with different titles. And I really like oracles like this, that the title is more of a title and less a keyword. I know this is like maybe not a distinction that makes sense to everybody in the ways that it does in my head, but I like these kind of titled oracle cards that I think read fairly neutrally, depending on, the question and the spread and the context. They don't give too much in terms of the interpretation, but just like really rich kind of concepts in this deck. So I'm very excited about this. I didn't even know, I haven't been on Instagram or any kind of social media really, so I didn't even know that this was coming out. I mean, I knew it was in the works, and I've had it on the wish list forever, since I knew that it was in the works. But then, I had followed Amrit's Etsy shop, and it just kind of came up in my notifications on Etsy that there was a new item and that it was this, and I just went straight, I have not clicked add to cart as fast as that in a while. Just immediately like, yep, this is joining my collection right now. So I'm very, very excited about the Mirror Oracle. Now, books I've read this month. I read quite a few books this month. I read 9 books, one of which was a standalone short story. So 8 books in a story, we'll say. And I hit my 100 book Goodreads goal that Goodreads has been bugging me about since I said it. Periodically telling me that I'm behind or that I'm ahead. So I have now read my 100 books of 2023. Not that I really care about this goal. I've set it as 100 for years just because that seems to be where my total ends up kind of hovering. Sometimes it's below, sometimes it's above. That's fine. But I hit 100. I will make a video kind of looking back at 2023's reading at some point in January. I want to share some of the fun statistics that Storygraph generates about the reading over the course of different time periods, including kind of reading over the course of the year. So I will do that at some point. But books that I have read in December, in no particular order. I read a novel called 381 by Aaliyah Whiteley. Aaliyah Whiteley is an author that I've read before. Once I read a science fictional novel by Aaliyah Whiteley that I really liked. And so when I saw 381 on NetGalley, I requested it and I got it and I was happy for that. And this novel went a little bit over my head, if I'm honest. It has two storylines. One of them is set in 2024, following a young woman who is on a quest. And on this quest is like pushing buttons in different places, and it's not really explained why, you know, she's doing this, other than the fact that, you know, people of a certain age go on quests, right? And so she's going on a quest. And then the other storyline is in 2314. And this kind of AI, I guess, or kind of cyborg kind of curator is looking at this kind of text that this young woman generated about her quest and trying to make sense of like how to classify this document about this quest and trying to figure out what it's all about. And so there's interesting things about kind of the reliability of different kinds of written evidence and kind of the classification of evidence from history in different ways. But the quest thing went way over my head. I don't think I understood what was going on. Um, it's well written. I think Aaliyah Whiteley's a good author. I didn't get this one. I didn't get this one. It wasn't my favorite. I liked the futuristic kind of curator voice more of the two, but it's the one that we got less of in the book. So, that's my feeling about that. I read a short story, The Captain and the Pole Star by Arthur Conan Doyle. The Captain of the Pole Star, excuse me. The Pole Star is a ship. It follows the captain of the ship. And this is a short story about a whaling vessel that is out in Arctic waters at risk of being stuck in the ice. And the captain seems to be increasingly agitated about something happening. And it's eerie and the setting is creepy. It's very quiet, very cold, and I can't really say much about this because it's a short story without totally giving it away, but it's kind of, what's out there on the ice. Is it a ghost? Is it a hallucination? Is it a bear? Is something else happening? This is kind of the way that this short story goes. And I read this because it was picked for a book club locally that a local independent bookstore is running. And so the book club was on Zoom. And I went to the book club for the first time, and I had a good time, actually. I didn't really like the captain of the Pole Star very much. I didn't think it was very scary, it's kind of presented as a ghost story or a spooky story. I didn't really think that it was that. But the discussion was fun, and I think I'm going to participate again. So I'm happy to have found a really nice little local bookshop and a book club that I could go to sometimes. I read Solarpunk Creatures, which is a anthology published by World Weaver Press. I've read one of their other anthologies. It's a solarpunk anthology before. And solarpunk has to do with kind of futuristic ways of living in harmony with nature. And solarpunk tends to be optimistic, sometimes even utopian, though not necessarily. And this one, Solarpunk Creatures, and this is a little brief quote, is an anthology of short stories featuring more than human protagonists, organic and digital, alien and fantastic, tiny and boundlessly large. And so all of the kind of main characters, I guess, in these short stories are not human. So some of them are animals, like animals that you would be familiar with. Some of them are animals that are kind of fantastical animals. There is, I think, an alien in one or two of them. There are kind of personifications of natural phenomena or landscapes in different kinds of ways. Very interesting. Um, and the collection kind of focuses on ways that different species can find to live together. And I thought it was very uneven as a collection, but mostly good. I liked it overall. There are some really great stories in this one. There's one where a kind of artificial intelligence becomes sentient and moves into a like a Roomba and goes, on an escape. And that was maybe my favorite one, but there's a lot of good ones in there. So I liked that. And it brought some like levity to my reading, which I think I needed. I read The Sentient by Nadia Afifi, which is the first book in a trilogy, I think. And The Sentient is a novel that deals with cloning and attempts to create the first human clone. It also deals with cults and medical ethics in various kinds of ways, as you would expect from a book dealing with cloning. I really liked The Sentient. I think I'll probably read this trilogy. I liked The Sentient a lot. I thought that the pacing was a little bit funny in a couple of places, but other than that, it's a debut novel and it doesn't read like a debut. Like I thought it was really a good novel. I did think it kind of skewed a little YA feeling, which is just not my thing in a couple of places, but not overall, so that was okay. I'll probably read the second book soon because I feel like it's going to be the kind of trilogy that just kind of each book picks up where the other one left off, and it would be better to read it not too far apart. Which brings me to my next two things that I read. I read Compulsory by Martha Wells, which is a short story prequel to the first Murderbot book. And I read System Collapse, which is the newly released Murderbot novel. I fucking love Murderbot. I am so excited about Murderbot. I love Martha Wells. I'm into it. And Compulsory was fun. If you're a Murderbot person, you should definitely read it because it's more Murderbot. But it's not necessary to understand the first book or anything like that. System Collapse, the new one though. I loved it because it's Murderbot, and I love Murderbot. I will say about System Collapse though, is that it starts right where Network Effect, which is not the most recently published one before, but the one before that, leaves off. And it's really sudden, the start of System Collapse. So I kind of started the first page and then thought like, oh shit, I'm not going to know what's going on. So I went and reread just the last kind of 30 pages, two chapters, I think, the last 30 pages of Network Effect in order to remind myself what was going on to be able to follow System Collapse. And once I did that, then System Collapse made a whole lot more sense. And so in System Collapse, we're following Murderbot and Art, Asshole Research Transport, which is Murderbot's um, friend. They have a kind of relationship in this book, which is interesting. Um, and Art's crew, and they are trying to engage with some colonists on a planet who are in danger, we'll say. So, you know, this is not a place to start Murderbot. If you want to start reading Murderbot, you have to go back and read the first novella. Do not start with System Collapse. If you love Murderbot, you will love System Collapse. If you don't know Murderbot, please don't start here. It won't make any sense. But Murderbot is amazing. And I feel like in this book, it really it it grew as a person. Murderbot did. It um it had to deal with some really challenging things, and it had to deal with some relationship dynamics that it hasn't had to deal with before. And I think that these were done really, really well. For folks who have yet to hear and who care about this, there's going to be a Murderbot television show. I am terrified that it's going to be terrible. I'm scared that it's going to be not well done. But I love Murderbot, so I will check it out when it happens. If you haven't read Murderbot, what are you doing? Go start Murderbot with the first novella. I recommend to everyone. Now, I also read 3 nonfiction this month. I read Raja Shahade's Going Home, a walk through 50 years of occupation. And Raja Shahade is a Palestinian lawyer and human rights activist. And I had previously read his book Palestinian Walks with my friend Katie Flowers and Katie Flowers Blossom Book Club, and I loved it. 5-star read. And so I picked up Going Home, and it's a 5-star read as well. And through Going Home, Raja Shahade takes one kind of day-long walk through his neighborhood in Palestine, and he talks about the kind of history and current dynamics through conversation about the people that live there and the buildings and the architecture and his experiences and his family's experiences. Really wonderful writer, really, incredible work. I hope to read more Raja Shahade in the future. Excellent book. I read Sand County Almanac, which I'm looking around and I thought I had a copy of sitting here, but I might have just not done that. I did not remember to do that. I read Sand County Almanac by Aldo Leopold. This is the last book in my required AODA Druidry apprenticeship curriculum, other than one more of the 2 books that I got to choose for myself. So there's a list of books for AODA that all of the apprentices read, and Sand County Almanac is one of them, and it's the last of them that I had to finish. So, yay me, I'm making progress. Sand County Almanac is a early text in ecology, or in conservation writing specifically. So in Sand County Almanac, Aldo Leopold follows a year in Sand County and talks about kind of the nature and goings on this farm in Sand County over the course of a year. And then there's some essays on conservation at the end. I did not love this. I can appreciate reading it in terms of a historical text related to conservation, but we will just say that he and I have very different understandings and perspectives of what, living in good relations with animals and plants and the environment look like and should look like and can look like. There's a lot in this book that did not age well. So we'll just say that. Not one that I can recommend. I finally read Tarot for Transformation 2, Pentacles, a journey of healing and self-growth through the minor arcana by Drea Bloom. So Drea is doing a book for each of the suits. And the Pentacles is the one that was published first, and Swords just came out. And she was kind enough to send me that. I am not going to say too much about this here. I have filmed a in-depth review of this book, and it will be going up on my channel on January 5th. So on January 5th, I will talk about this. The review came out to like 40 minutes of me blathering about how much I love this book. I think that this is really great. I think it's a really unique kind of contribution to, tarot books that are journaling focused, that focus on kind of getting to know yourself through getting to know the cards, I would say is something that this book invites the reader to do, but that also weaves in a lot of different tarot history and influences and kind of different connections to different symbolism and things like this. So really, really great. I'm really excited to read the Swords book too. Fabulous. This I recommend like wholeheartedly, 100%, but you can watch my review to get the details of why. So that's the books that I read. My wish list / to explore list. I have moved it because of course it's going into January, which means new day planners. So I've already shown my 2024 Kinbor weeks, which is my kind of day-to-day, get me where I need to go, appointments, carry it with me everywhere book. And I'm using a section at the back for my to explore list. So I went through the list in my 2023 planner. Some things made it into this, and some did not. And one, I think, new thing got added. So as of now, my to explore list going into 2024 has 5 things on it. And all of them are Oracle decks, actually, which is interesting because for me, like my collection is definitely more tarot than anything else. I have more tarot than I have like Oracle playing cards, Ogham, um, Lenormand, like any of those things combined is all a smaller collection than my tarot. It may be catching up a little bit, but like it's definitely significantly smaller. The 5 things on my to explore wish list are Aquarius Rising Oracle, which is Charlie Claire Burgess, who created the Fifth Spirit Tarot. They are making this playing card based oracle that looks really cool. It's on their website. It's forthcoming. It's not available yet. I don't know what the plan for making it available is. I don't know if that'll be a Kickstarter or if that'll be a, straight to mass market or how they're going to approach that. But the Aquarius Rising Oracle is on my list. The Inner Eye Oracle is on my list, which is the playing card based oracle by Stephen Bright. There is a theme. I'm really interested in playing card oracles, and so those are both on my list. Also on my list are the 9 Coins Oracle and the Oracle of Simple Space, both of which are by Tishan of 9 Coins here on TarotTube, and her decks are on Make Playing Cards, and both of those are on my list. So the 9 Coins Oracle is her original photography with some kind of keywords and titles added to it. Really beautiful. And as a kind of photography enthusiast, really inspiring, I think, the 9 Coins Oracle. And so that is very much on my list. An Oracle of Simple Space is kind of a digital artwork, I guess, digital collage of sorts. And it has some astrological components in it, but it's really themed around space. So it's not an astrology oracle per se. I think it's really creative. I'm really into that. And then the 5th one on my list, which is the new edition, and I don't know if this is ever going to be in my collection, but I'm exploring it, so I wrote it down, is the Sherwood Oracle by John Matthews, Mark Ryan, and Annie Von Gilbert. And this is like not really the kind of thing that I would normally go for at all. There's not much about it anywhere that I've seen. It's listed on Amazon and that as forthcoming, and you can see kind of a picture of the box that gives a sense of what the art style is like. But the reason that the Sherwood Oracle is something that I'm going to look into when it is released and when there's, walkthroughs and things like that coming out, I'll have a look at it, is because Sherwood Forest is very close to where my mother is from, and where my mother's family is from. And so I'm wondering, if this might have a bit of a kind of ancestral feel to me in a particular sort of way for specifically that one part of my family. Um, and who better to do a Sherwood deck than Mark Ryan, like really. So I think that the book will be good. So that's my list. That's my list of 5. That's it. And it's still December 29th with a couple of days left in the month, so I might treat myself to a holiday treat. Who knows in the next couple of days? But that is my to explore list for now. I feel like I have a good little assortment of decks that are fairly new to me that I want to spend some time with right now, though. So I'm feeling pretty content, I will say. Now, plan for 2024. I think I'm going to keep doing monthly recap videos for 2024. I have fun doing these. I may at some point make a shift to doing like sun season recaps, like do a kind of Capricorn season recap, Sagittarius season recap, as opposed to January, February, March. I'm not sure yet. I am trying to think in more kind of astrological and seasonal ways. And there's not a lot about my practice that is monthly. The only thing that is monthly in my practice, which I will be bringing back into my recaps, I'm sure, is T at Cosmic Creepers Animal Gnosis through her Patreon, where we do connection with a particular animal each month. That is like the only thing, that and these recaps are the only things that I do on a monthly basis. So I'm not sure if doing a different kind of rhythm would actually make more sense. I don't know. But either way, I'm going to stick to the recaps. I've been filming while I've had this time off, so you will see some content coming up from me at a more frequent pace than usual. I've already mentioned that I have the review of Drea's wonderful book on the Pentacles coming on January 5th. I also filmed the end of year tarot tag, which will be going up, and I plan to film a video on my 2024 resolutions and kind of visions for the year as well. So my word of the year, my card of the year, and the 20 resolutions for 2024 that I've come up with for myself, which span a couple of different areas, druidry, divination, arts and creativity, YouTube, and reading. So I'll be sharing that coming up as well. Um, in the meantime, I wish you all a happy new year. Thank you so much for sticking with me through, 12 months of monthly recaps and for hanging with me today. I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.